Hey y'all, it's me, Lynn Daniel, coming to you today on the Buddy Zone. So, I went to Target and I found these in the dollar spot for my granddaughter. Little finger puppets for the little princess. It has a princess and her friends, her court. They're fighting the dragon and the unicorn, of course, I guess is the good guy. Then it comes with the little stage. And all that was $3. I thought that was too cute to pass up. Here's the bag that it comes in case you're interested. From the Target dollar spot, $3. So, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of time left on my card's memory or whatever. My phone's memory. Because I have some videos that I haven't erased yet. It's the next day. I know I'm wearing the same sweater, but hey, thank goodness for the laundry, for a washer and dryer. And my pastime is doing laundry. But I just wanted to come and check in today. I'm doing some writing. I'm doing some planning. I'm looking at just some things because my chair told me to stop writing, but I really can't do that, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's almost February and I really thought I would have defended by now, but I'm not, and I guess they don't think I'm ready. I don't know, but in the meantime, instead of getting grumpy and irritable or cranky, I didn't realize that some doctoral students are very aggressive towards their chair and rude and disrespectful. And you know, although I'm older in age than my chair and probably my committee too, I don't know, but you know, I just try to approach people through an attitude of respect because that's just what I choose to do. So I can't imagine myself being rude or disrespectful to my chair because I feel that I should be doing something. As a teacher, I understand, you know, I kind of understand their perspective. Maybe they read my writing and they have questions. I don't know. They haven't communicated to me why I haven't heard back from them. But in the meantime, I'm using this time to make revisions, to really look at how I can implement this study, the steps for every aspect of the study. And I'm just really looking at keeping it real, doable, relatable, relevant, and maintaining my dignity. I was you know, I like to compile videos to supplement my reading and just to kind of supplement my learning. So I found some videos from the University of Flinders in Australia, and this one professor she does the hosting of these videos and she talks about different aspects. I really enjoy the videos. I've watched several of them because she's quite thorough and relatable. She's a bit quirky, and you know, to see that aspect in a professor is endearing. So I watched these videos where she talked about some of the students that she worked with. Now they have a 3-year program, PhD program, and so they backward design all the steps from the very beginning, which I think is very helpful. I wish we would have done that. So that means they look at the length of their program and they look at the end results, the outcome, and then they backward design all the steps that you should accomplish on certain benchmarks or timelines on the timeline, by certain dates on the timeline, in a certain amount of weeks and that type of thing. And she said one of her students was just so frustrated and upset and demanding, and one of the chairs, they call them supervisors in Australia, one of the supervisors took out a restraining order against the student because the student would wait for the chair, the supervisor, after work, making demands, follow the supervisor, I guess, to the car or wherever on the campus, making demands and being quite aggressive. And this professor who was sharing the story took on that same student and shared that the student was quite demanding and would wait for her after work and would follow her to the train and would prevent her from getting on the train to go home. And this professor said that she just quietly listened to this student, and she did miss the train. She missed several of the train stops. And, she said there were like 3 train stops with each hour, 1 each hour from like 5, 6, and 7. And she had to get on that 7 o'clock train, otherwise she would be stranded. And she would listen to this student rant and rave and make demands. I'm like, now that is a patient person. And she said they were able to get that student finished with their PhD by the end of the 3 years, because they backward designed the plan, and then she helped the student through. I just cannot imagine that anyone behaving that way, because who in the heck is going to write any references for you? Who is going to vouch for your professionalism, your academics? Who will take on that role if you are berating everybody? And so I'm sharing that because, although I feel like I am in a holding pattern, I feel like it's for a reason, and maybe it hasn't been articulated to me. So I'm just using this time to just keep writing, but writing different things, doing different aspects of the doctorate. Reading different types, looking at different types of texts from these authors, like, and I really appreciate videos because I like to see the authors. I like to see how they look, their disposition. I like to hear their voice when they're sharing, because I seem to be dominantly auditory and visual, in my learning. And so, yeah, it's amazing. So I find the videos of the authors that I'm reading, and I view them, and I, use them as supplementals. And then I go back and I look at their writings again. I revisit their articles, their studies, if they wrote books, and I have those books, I revisit those books. And another thing, like after viewing the video from these professor at the University of Flinders in Australia, she made me feel like I haven't done enough reading. And I've done a lot of reading, but I guess it's never enough. I guess by comparison, maybe it isn't enough. Maybe, all these articles that I've skimmed, and there is a method to reading. You learn, like, because we have so much to read, you learn different methods for reading. You learn to read, like, the recommendations. You learn to read the methodology section. You learn to read certain sections of those studies. Because sometimes you're not able to read the entire study. So, that's just an approach to reading to help you grasp the materials. And so after listening to this author, this professor from the University of Flinders, I feel like, man, I haven't done half enough reading. My program is a 5-year program. I am in the 5th year. January 2018 marks the 5th year of my program. And my graduation date is slated for May 2018. Well, that's 5 months away. And so in that 5 months, I have a lot to do within that 5 months. I have my 3 chapters, and I just feel like I'm in a waiting game, but I'm not going to be cussing nobody out. I'm not going to be chasing nobody down. I'm not going to be rude to people and all of that stuff. No, I'm not. So, I know some of my YouTube friends here in the teacher community are working on their graduate level. Well, they're PhDs, okay? They're PhDs. And it's no joke. There was this one girl, this black girl from England, who moved to Australia. She transferred to the University of Flinders. And I hope I'm saying the school right. University of Australia at Flinders. I don't know. But she transferred there. She was able to finish her PhD in almost 3 years. Under 3 years. 2 years and 9 months. She changed her topic from climate control or climate to something dealing with diversity or race and stereotypes of blacks in Australia. And so I'm going to see if I can find the videos. But anyway, guys, if you're getting your PhD, it's crazy. It's crazy hard when you work and you are you're studying. It's hard enough when you're studying. When you are you're working all day and then you come home and you have to block out 2 to 3 hours or more to read. You have to. There's no way around it, guys. Oh, here I am. Okay, so let me. You just got to do it. And so, yeah, let me find myself. Okay. So I can share these with you. And so I found some videos of different authors whose studies I've read, and it was very engaging to see them, to listen to them talk. Here's one right here. David Page. He wrote with Mag Pooley. I don't know how to pronounce all their names. I know their names when I see them, but some of them are hard to pronounce. He co-authored some articles on acumeticity, and that's accuracy when you're reading and you're looking at how many words per minute students read correctly, to look at fluency and overall understanding of the text, and you can tell that they are gaining understanding from the text, how they chunk the text, how they phrase it, how they put emphasis and stuff. And so he discusses this term acumeticity, and then he tells about how he got those 2 words and blended them to come up with that term. And so that's one of the terms that I have in my paper. It was really good. I wanted to see, and I'm going to look for more of the authors because it's good to see them. Just like this one author, Gabrielle Oettingen, who did the street name of her study is Whoop, but she has a scientific term for it, and it deals with goal setting and like dreaming and doing. Okay, so accomplishing goals through just dreaming and wishing and hoping and thinking positively, or compared to goal setting and thinking about goals and dreaming, and then looking at adversarial points that could pop up and how to confront them and how to face them and then overcome them to continue on your path to reach your goal. She thinks that's very important aspect of goal setting and of thinking positively. And so I'm reading her book. Here's her book. I have her study. I gleaned through her study. I just kind of, you know, glanced through it, looked at different sections and kind of glanced through it. But I'm thoroughly reading this book. There are only 8 chapters, but the chapters get longer. The book is almost, what, 200 pages. And so let me tell you the theory's name. It's, what is her theory's name? She has, like I told you, the street name is Whoop. Wishing, Optimism, some WOOP is the street name. Mental contrasting is the theory. Mental contrasting, that's the theory. Yeah, but this is a good, here it is. Whoop. Wish, outcome, obstacle, plan. So you have a wish, you have an outcome that you desire, but an obstacle arises, so what's your plan to deal with it? And yeah, I'm enjoying this book. So I kind of feel like, you know, when you reach an obstacle like this, what are you going to do with it? Like, because that's a part of our professionalism. I really think that our chair or whoever, your supervisor, is judging you on how you handle your obstacles. And one of the things that this professor from the University of Flinders said is, you know, here she is. Let me see if I can get her name. You know, she talks about it's Office of Graduate Research, Flinders University. That's the name of her channel on YouTube. And her videos are like 20 to 30 minutes or longer. And she talks about your professionalism, your dedication, your approach to your studies, and how you deal with competition. How do you deal with all of the idiosyncrasies of the doctorate, of learning, of higher education. And she even pointed out that higher education nowadays, in this time and era, is more cutthroat than it was back when she started in the 1980s. So, or 1990s is when she started. Yeah, because I think when I did the math, I think she's a decade younger than I am, is what I think. Yeah, that's by the age she said. I tell the kids I'm 109, so she's 99. That's my joke. But yeah, so I just wanted to make this video to kind of rant, but not really, just to kind of, you know, touch base on the realities of delays and of hindrances. Like, one thing that this professor pointed out, her name is Tara, I can't think of her last name, but her students call her Tara. One of the things that Professor Tara said was, you know, you have got to know how to deal with the learning and with all of the different quirkiness and the differences that occur. And they are on your side. Your supervisor, your chair, your committee, they're on your side. Now, how she presented it, it was believable. She really sounded believable when she said, you know, we're on your side. We're looking out for you. We want to protect you from some things. And when I listened to the students' interviews, they both vouched that their supervisors pretty much walked them through the different aspects of their studies, of getting things approved, of helping them to finagle and maneuver through loopholes and different things, protected them from distractions or delays or things that could have turned into delays. And that's what I think doctoral students want. They want to feel protected. They want to feel that that their program of study is really in their corner and really wants them to succeed. That they are not necessarily handing them all the tools, but at least identifying all of the tools that you'll need, and then encouraging you and assisting you to use those tools accurately. So, all right, so I'm getting ready to go. I just did help my sister out with some revisions on something she was writing. She's sitting on a committee, a big committee, state committee, and doing great things in her field. And so, you know, we have to help one another, guys. We have to encourage one another and be there for one another. It's hard enough. It's really hard, especially those of us who are, you know, women or maybe ethnic minorities or racial minorities. Those of us in this age gap, or this age where people really are telling us to go sit down and move out the way and let other people come in. You know, if you don't have wise people or experienced people in the mix, then the young people are not going to know how to identify different things that they can avoid, or they're not going to even know how to behave, pretty much. You can learn a lot by just observing the experienced ones. And oftentimes, the experienced ones may not do a whole bunch of talking because they learn that with time. All right, so if I post this video, you'll see it. If I don't post it, you won't. Be blessed.